The tiny cry was so faint, it almost blended into the rustle of the wind, but it was there, desperate, sharp, and full of life. A local woman walking home from work paused by a pile of discarded trash bags behind a restaurant. At first, she thought it was a bird, but then she saw the smallest movement among the debris. Something pink, something alive. She knelt down, pushed aside a damp cardboard box, and gasped. A newborn kitten, no bigger than a human hand, was lying there, cold, trembling, sealed shut, and still attached to the placenta. The umbilical cord coiled around the kitten like a fragile tether to a world that had already discarded this life. There was no mother in sight, no siblings, just this one soul, barely hours old, abandoned and forgotten by the world before life even had a chance to begin. She scooped the kitten into a scarf, not even thinking. The cold was biting and time was not on the kitten's side. With trembling hands, she called every rescue she could find, and finally reached a small volunteer-based foster group. They told her exactly what to do. Keep the kitten warm, do not attempt to cut the cord, and rush over immediately. In the car ride over, the kitten let out weak, airy squeaks. Each sound pierced the air like a battle cry. This wasn't a creature giving up. This was a fighter. This was a heart still choosing life. At the rescue center, trained hands gently took the kitten in, still wrapped in the scarf. The team worked fast. They warmed the kitten with heating pads and soft towels, using cotton swabs to clean the body while being careful around the placenta. The foster volunteer, Maria, had seen newborns before, but not like this. The placenta meant the kitten hadn't been cleaned by a mother, hadn't been fed, hadn't been licked into circulation. It meant the kitten had come into the world entirely alone. The odds were against this little one, but that only made the determination stronger. Maria decided right then this kitten would live. The first hours were touch and go. The kitten couldn't regulate temperature, couldn't feed, couldn't even go to the bathroom without help. Maria set alarms for every 2 hours to feed with the dropper and stimulate the kitten's body. Each feeding was a ritual, a heartbeat check, a temperature reading, and a soft whisper of encouragement. The kitten's eyes remained shut, but the tiny body slowly filled out. The skin, once paper-thin and pale, took on a healthy pink. The paws twitched with reflexes that hadn't been there before, and when the umbilical cord finally dried up and detached naturally, Maria cried, because that meant the kitten had survived those impossible first few days. What melted hearts the most wasn't just the survival, it was the spirit. Miracle wasn't timid or scared. Miracle was bold, curious, loud. When Maria's adult cats walked past the incubator, Miracle tried to paw at them with tiny jelly bean toes. When Maria spoke, Miracle meowed back like there was a whole conversation happening. And every time someone asked, "Is that the one from the garbage pile?" Maria smiled and said, "Yes, that's Miracle." By the time Miracle was 6 weeks old, the kitten had grown into a whirlwind of energy, climbing everything, knocking over cups, leaping at shadows, and pouncing with pride. The rescue team couldn't believe this was the same kitten who was once a damp scrap of life in a cardboard box, and neither could the world. A short video Maria posted of Miracle's transformation went viral. People around the globe saw the before and after, and it changed something. It reminded everyone that life, even in its most fragile form, is never something to give up on. It reminded the world that one act of kindness, one moment of attention, can mean the difference between tragedy and triumph. As adoption applications rolled in, Maria knew the day was coming. Miracle was ready for a forever home, but the thought of letting go was almost unbearable. She had watched every second of this journey, from a lifeless body to a whirlwind of mischief. Could anyone else possibly understand what this little soul had survived? But then came a message from a couple who had lost their senior cat months ago. They wrote not just an application, but a letter. It detailed how they had cried watching Miracle's story, how they had prepared their home, stocked every shelf with toys, and left the sunniest window clear just in case. Maria wept as she read it, because this wasn't just adoption, this was destiny. When Miracle finally left for the new home, tucked into a blanket with a goodbye kiss on the forehead, wasn't an end. It was a new beginning. And somewhere deep down, Maria knew this kitten would never be abandoned again. From a cold alley with a placenta still attached, to a warm lap in a loving home. Miracle's story is proof that life always finds a way, if given the tiniest chance. If you felt moved by Miracle's journey, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Rescue Animal Tales for more stories that prove kindness can change the world. Your support helps us bring hope to animals. Just like Miracle, one rescue at a time.